This week on Hermitcraft.
His blood is now cold, his heart now still, never again to feel the warmth of the sun or the comfort of an embrace.
If I hold very still. Look at him peeking in.
Welcome to the Hermitcraft Recap. My name is Pixel Riffs, our writer is LoyXP, and 1 week into November, the server is still as spooky as ever.
Ren dead, Ren very dead.
Yeah, that seems like a good cross-section of the server at the moment. We have more people demising and not demising, so spoilers, beware! And with that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week.
First off, I gotta grab some signs. Oh, I'm stuck. No. Okay, yeah, totally. I can't believe I did that.
Starting with TFC, because you know what's actually terrifying? That toilet situation. Deciding that providing individual washrooms for the residents of his vault compromised his vision for a lovely backyard, TFC hollows out a space for a shared bathroom further down the corridor. But don't let the luxurious quartz-lined shower cubicles and mirrored sinks fool you. The toilet facilities leave a lot to be desired, like, you know, not having to stare down the person opposite you while you do your business. It's the type of planning that makes oxygen not included look like a luxury condo, but then again, that's kind of the point.
I could take like banners and put along here and just treat it like a curtain, a privacy curtain. But then again, it wouldn't be too unreasonable to think that Vault-Tec would decide that you don't get privacy.
When B-double-O designed a toilet, on the other hand, there's too much oxygen included because it's literally hanging off the side of a building into the street, which we'll admit is kind of realistic for the medieval look him and Corrales are going for, but we're not so sure it adds to the charm.
This is how it used to be back in the medieval ages. You just go to the bathroom and boop, down onto the street. And then there was a person, their job was to clean this up. Believe it or not, it's true.
Luckily for B-dubs, the rest of the town is becoming more charming by the day, as he's been putting together some shops to resell the quartz he bought from Sahara Now, along with a flourishing redstone shop. The decorative touches come from the head-selling villagers under the statue of Hermity, which leads to B-dubs building his own take on a TNT yeeter as the mascot for the redstone shop. He even stars in his own commercial.
Tired of making all of those comparators? We've got you covered. Loads of hopper. Don't worry, we have got you covered.
Not quite the Vocaloid who created Minecraft, but close enough. Luckily for B-dubs, he won't even have to drive off the competition because the competition voluntarily packed up shop and moved to a distant island. Good Times with Scar has decided that he needs to take Cherry Computers to the next level. Therefore, just like fortnights before him, he closed everything down and disappeared, leaving at least a giant hourglass counting down diamond blocks instead of sand.
Or anything along those lines. That is genuinely a solid piece of diamond blocks, and it is absolutely amazing. You know the feeling on Easter when you were a kid and you bite into a chocolate bunny and it turns out to be hollow and it's full of sadness and disappointment? No, that's not how we roll here.
The plan for Cherry going forward is to build up a network of farms and warehouses that will allow Scar to make redstone bits and pieces without as much manual labour, at least not on the player's part. The very first warehouse is meant to be a villager facility, and yes, cleric villagers do trade redstone, even though witches are generally accepted as a better source.
Here on Cherry Island. Now, of course, this was the former base to Moonbase Alpha. Now, Moonbase Alpha has moved elsewhere in the Hermit Galaxy so that we can build this here, and it is going to be absolutely fantastic.
In the meantime, Scar gets to figure out someone else's redstone as he has to locate Cub's Demise bunker. A bunker which, by now, has a new panic room full of cake with a pretty sophisticated iron door block-off system. Its only fault is that it assumes the pursuers won't be A, very patient, and B, equipped with a pickaxe.
And voila, we are now in the panic room. We can survive for weeks in here, just on cake itself.
Not that the bunker is going to do Cub any good if he takes himself out with crazy stunts first. This time around, the guy locks himself up in a burning cluster of TNT and tries to outrun the explosion.
If I should fall here today in this historic stunt, continue my legacy.
Surprisingly, this did not end in peril of either Cub or the server's hardware. No doubt recognizing the smell of gunpowder in the morning, Tango Tech meets up with him, fresh out of deforming a sizable cliff face and planning a DNA spiraling tower on top of what's left. They bond over their shared fear of Rendog, which is not a sentence anyone expected to ever say, but here we are with this bizarre season.
Yeah.
Was he like trolling you at all?
Yeah, he was like staring at me. He got up. I went up to him and he was just staring at me. I was like, "Is he doing something here?
That's
What's
exactly. I was in my base.
Fortunately, their other shared interest, explosions, fits perfectly to send Ren a message to stay away from them. The two Redstoners put together a TNT trap that will not kill Ren, but sure will drop him into a pit with a creeper. It kills him.
What is inside of the chest? There's nothing. No, there's a creeper in here. No.
We refer you to our earlier comment, why are you so afraid of Rendog? Although perhaps we're not giving him enough credit considering the goth turn he's taken this week, he now lives in a graveyard, dresses as the Spectre of Death, calls himself Grimdog, and uses a voice modulator for all the creepiest words.
Cyberdogs and citizens of the interwebs, this is Grim Diggity Dog coming at you in another Minecraft episode.
He's also added signs with all the hermits' names into Joe's graveyard, which is intended to look like a hit list, but comes across more like a serial killer edition of Guess Who. The real reason to be scared of Ren, though, is that he's the first one on the dead team to intentionally prank and kill another hermit. Luring a cautious Azuma to the Sahara Speedy Pines Raceway under the pretense of him running a test lap, X completes the circuit to find Ren has set up a multi-layered TNT trap, one that drops X through the floor of the track and blows him up not once, but twice, taking into account that he'd be saved from the first explosion by a Totem of Undying, but the second one would finish him off. And if he was really evil, a third explosion might have destroyed his items, so at least you know it was nothing personal.
I trusted you, man. I'm sorry, X. I'm sorry, dude. You know.
A zombified Azuma is later dug out of his grave and welcomed to the dead team. And while Ren gets a taste of his own medicine in the form of the aforementioned trap by Tango and Cub, he also gets a message from Stress Monster suggesting they team up and go after their next target.
Proper evil plan by Stress Monster 101. Ooh!
In the wake of Team Dead scoring kills, Cleo departs to an undisclosed location over the non-full damageable ocean to build up her version of a Demise bunker. It's not underground, it's not a bunker, and it's made entirely out of transparent blocks, so you can't redstone trap it without making it obvious. Between that and the water, she might as well cover all the corners with life belts and pool noodles.
Let's take a look. That's what it looks like. And there's me on my throne. This is my throne, people. With my crown. That means she's important. It's how it all works. I am enjoying this. Being alive.
If you want an even more abstract Demise strategy, look no further than Joe Hills, who seems to now be considering everything as a bunker regardless of its construction materials, defensive potential, or even having walls on all 6 sides. He now begins this tour of potential bunkers inside Mumbo's tragically no longer rotating Sahara Now advertisement, although he's there to buy a Sahara Now membership about 2 weeks late.
So now, if we ever need a desert that's as large as all of North Africa, or Northern Africa, depending on how you modify your nouns, we'll be all set.
The highlight is the moment where he stumbles upon possibly the opposite of a bunker, Stress Monster's trap testing area.
This is literally a trap, okay.
And for more of those, Joe, you've got to check out False Symmetry's cathedral in the medieval area in the next couple of weeks. Now that there are some dead amongst us, False adds a cemetery build to it, but what's for now a rather pleasant resting place holds the idea of a potential obstacle course / trap gauntlet, leading to a spot in which your reward for its completion will be killing False Symmetry.
Then I guess allowing them to trap me wherever I am if they find me. Okay, so that is idea number 1. Idea number 2 is that I AFK in the graveyard somewhere, probably underground somewhere, and I trap the place so that no one can actually reach me and everyone just knows where I am, but it's trapped and basically you get one chance to try and get me.
Still not the most deadly game show the server has ever had. In a similar way, but in much simpler terms, Jevin just announces a reward for anyone who will be able to take him out of the world of the living by the way of anything but direct PvP. The prize is half a stack of diamond blocks, which he seems to be planning to make back by undercutting Concorp's Edge shop on the market of nether produce. Suggested by a subscriber, Boiling Boutique is a volcano-looking outlet that sells the magmas and the lavas for just a little bit lower than the two-dimensional.
We'll just beat those prices by 1 diamond just to be competitive.
Having then covered False's base in wooden buttons for daring to hot potato him, Jevin turns back to his science fidget spinner and puts glass domes on the ends of it along with atmospheric sea lantern lighting. Just offshore from the OG fidget spinner, Mumbo's bunker is fulfilling its purpose, although he's still somehow finding himself in sticky situations.
Well, honey blocks have been added into the game, so I haven't... every single time I open up my Minecraft game, I just want to use honey blocks. I'm very addicted to them. I haven't really been on the server.
Still, with the Demise body count rising, Mumbo decides the bunker needs a few switches to flip in case he needs to defend himself from invaders. So while he almost gets a taste of his own medicine while acquiring blaze powder,
funneling in. Oh my goodness! I shouldn't have flown over the top of this thing. It doesn't have a roof.
he sets up a network of fire charge dispensers and decides flooding his lobby with lava will be a good way to avoid unwanted intruders. Then, naturally, he builds a back door, and a back door that leads straight to the architect bunker, mostly because he's salty that he hasn't been told about it yet, and also to leave a passive-aggressive sign about how they left the door open.
Yeah, there's a compound right here. Now, I'm curious. I genuinely have no idea what it looks like. I don't know if that was the official entrance or not, and I gotta say, I think my compound is far cooler.
With that work done, he adds a security watchtower to his bunker, activating his sixth sense, a camera account that can tell him if it sees dead people. And finally, speaking of dead people, there's Stress Monster, who confirms a rule we were unclear about on the competition: just because you've died doesn't mean you get to put your god armor back on. After debating the fashion choices still left to her, Stress hatches a plan to get back at Grian for indirectly ending her Demise run by tricking him into dispensing a Curse of Binding dragon head onto himself. That's if he pushes every button in the row of buttons left for him outside of Sahara, some of which dispense eggs and golden apples.
Hopefully press the buttons, and obviously this last one is the one that we want to be stuck on his head. So everyone, like I said, I'm not doing this to actually kill Grian, because like I said in the last episode, and I said it to him as well, there are no hard feelings, so I can't really kill him because that would just be really mean. I can kind of prank him a little bit though.
Kinda late for trick-or-treating, but maybe when you're dead, every day is Halloween. Probably explains why she has such a large collection of novelty masks. Oh wait, that's a hermit hit list. Well, good luck everyone. And that's just about it for this week's recap. Our writer is ZloyXP, and my name is Pixel Riffs. In the end screen theatre this week, you can watch Zloy make a bunch of children stare at a wall for hours, or check out Truly Bedrock's Machinima episode about how their server is haunted again. Don't forget to leave a like on this video while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.